Andrew purchased a new car valued at $32,000. He paid a 10% deposit and was told he could have 4 years to pay off the balance of the car price plus interest. An alternate option was offered to him. It involved paying off the balance of the car price plus interest in 8 years. If he chose the latter option, he would end up paying $19,584 more. The interest rate for the 8-year scheme was 1% more than for the 4-year scheme. There's a lot of information in this question. Let's break it down into some easier steps and see if we can calculate the interest rate for each of these two payment options. The first question asks, how much deposit did he pay? We know it was a 10% deposit, so 0.1 or 10 over 100 times by the price of the car, $32,000, and that gives us $3,200. So that was the cost of the deposit. The next question asks, what was the balance to be paid on the car? We know that the car originally was selling for $32,000. We paid a $3,200 deposit. So to calculate the balance still to be paid, it's $32,000 minus the deposit, $3,200, which is equal to $28,800. This is the balance to be paid on the car still. The next question asks us to find the interest rate for each of the two options. Now this is tricky because we don't have a lot of information, but we do have enough information in our question. We know that if Andrew chose to pay over 8 years, he would pay $19,584 more in interest than if he paid over the 4 years. So what that looks like is the amount of interest over 8 years. If we take away the amount of interest over 4 years, the difference between the two, that was, I've forgotten the number, it was $19,584. $19,584. We can calculate, we know the formula for interest, so we can rewrite this. Instead of interest for 8 years, we can rewrite it using our interest formula. So that's principal times, principal, times the rate at 8 years, times n. I'm using a different r with a little 8 next to it because that's going to be a different interest rate to this formula here. Minus, for 4 years, p, the interest rate of the 4-year span, and n for number of investment periods. And that is still equal to $19,584. So the difference between the interest on an 8-year loan and the interest on the 4-year loan is this amount. This is another way of writing interest, principal times rate times the number of investment periods, for both the 8-year and the 4-year loan. Now we know the principal of the loan is $28,800. $28,800. We know that our interest rate for the 8-year loan is the interest rate of the 4-year loan plus 1%. So we're going to call that R plus 1%, 0.01. We want to have the same variable for our two interest rates because it will make it easier to solve. So we're calling this R, we'll call it R4, the interest rate of 4 years of the 4-year loan. Our 8-year loan has the same interest rate plus 1%, and I've written that 1% as decimal, times by number of investment periods or number of years was 8, minus the principal for the 4-year investment is the same, $28,800, times the interest rate of the 4-year period, R4. Oh, we don't need that in brackets this time because it's just R4, times the number of investment periods, which is 4. And this is equal to $19,584. We have our unknown interest rate, R4, in two different places. So we've got quite a bit of algebra to do to get this to R4 equals something. So we can go ahead and get started. Here we've got 28,800 times 8, which gives us my pen's just gone. Let me get that back. We'll move down a little bit as well. That gives us 230,400 times R4 plus 0.01. So here I've done 28,800 multiplied by 8. Take away, on this side, 28,800 multiplied by 4 gives me 115,200 times R4 still equal to $19,584. So the difference between the interest on the 8-year loan and the interest on the 4-year loan, that's still what we're calculating. We just substituted our numbers into our formula and we're going through and working out the algebra. So let's expand out these brackets. We have 230,400 times R4, so that gives us R4 there, plus $230,400 times 0.01. Remember, we expand out our brackets, and that gives us 2,304 minus 115,200 of our R4, still equal to $19,584. So in this step, all we did was we expanded out our brackets. So now we need to collect up our R4 terms over here, get the other terms over this side. So this term here, $2,304, we can subtract that from this side. 2,304 minus $2,304. We'll move down a little bit. We're left with 230,400 interest rate of 4 years minus 115,200 times the interest rate of 4 years is equal to, we had 19,584 minus 2,304. That gives us 17,280. We're almost there. We need to collect these two like terms. 230,400 R4 minus 115,200 R4. So if we calculate that, that gives us 115,200 R4, which makes sense because here we multiplied by 8 and here we multiplied by 4. So this is half the size of this one, is equal to 17,280. So to find out what our interest rate of 4 years is, we need to divide both sides. We'll move that down a little bit. We need to divide this side by 115,200 and this side by 115,200. And our interest rate for 4 years is going to be 17280 divided by 11520. Let me just check that I haven't missed a number there in my calculation. Yep, that's good. So that gives me 0.15. We're really close to being finished. We need to write this as a percentage. So we multiply it by 100, which gives us 15%. So our interest rate for 4 years is 15%. We know from our question that the interest rate for 8 years was 1% more. It told us that up in the question. And so what that means is our interest rate for 8 years, if it's 1% more, that would be 16%. So there's our two interest rate options. After a lot of algebra here, we managed to get interest rate of 15% and interest rate of 16%. Now this is a real problem-solving question. We have one more part to it. What were the monthly repayments for each option? So to calculate the monthly repayments for each option, we'll do them one at a time. So first we'll do our just moved a little bit. First we'll do our 4-year option. So 4 years. We need to know the total amount that had to be repaid so we can find out the monthly repayments for each option. So the total amount that needs to be repaid on our loan, we need to find the interest and add that to the principal. So our interest equals principal times the rate times the number of investment periods. We know our principal was, let's just scroll back up and check to make sure we get the right value, 28,800. 28,800. We worked out that our interest rate for the 14-year loan was 15%, 0.15, times, because it's a 4-year loan, we multiply it by 4. So we have 28,800 times 15% times 4 years gives us an interest amount of $17,280. So that's the interest that was charged on the 4-year loan. So we still need to know the total amount that was charged on the loan. That's our principal plus interest, which was, the principal was $28,800, plus the interest was $17,280. And that gives us $28,800, $46,080. So that's the total amount that needs to be repaid. But we want to know the monthly repayments. Over 4 years, there's 12 repayments each year, so that's 48 repayments. So that each repayment, we'll call that repayment, is equal to the total amount. And we're dividing that up into 48 payments over 4 years. And so that gives us an amount of $960 for each repayment. So over the 4-year span, the repayments on the loan, $960. Let's have a look at the 8-year loan. The 8-year loan. Once again, we calculate the interest. Interest is the principal times the rate times the number of investment periods or number of years. Principal is the same. We're still borrowing the same amount no matter which loan option is chosen. Times, we remember the interest rate for 8 years was 1% more than for 4 years. So 16% or 0.16. Times by n is 8 this time because we have 8 years for our repayments. And that gives us the total amount of interest as $36,864. To find the total amount that's going to be repaid on the 8-year repayment plan, that's our principal plus the amount of interest that is charged. The principal was $28,800. The amount of interest that will be charged over 8 years is $36,864. And so the total amount that would have to be repaid is $65,664. That's the total amount that would need to be repaid. And we can calculate each repayment just the same way as we did for the 8-year option. 65,664 divided by, now instead of 48 periods, we're going to have 8 years, 12 payments per year. That gives us 96 payments altogether. So if we divide 65,664 by our 96 payments, that will give us payments of $684 per month. So there you go. That was quite a long question and quite tricky, but that's the calculation process for all of the different steps for that question on Andrew's purchase.